Hey y'all, and welcome to my next video. In this video we're going to be talking about training. Now, as you can currently see, I'm already in a training position. For most people, well, pretty much for every character, except for your magic skill, this is the kind of setup you're gonna want to create. A point where two monsters are attacking you. Well, two monsters or two players if you have friends or something like that. Um, Uh, you can also use another player's summon creature as well as a training partner. Um, but you always want to have two because the way that it works, your sword fighting, axe, distance, all of that will increase uh, every time you do damage. For that, it doesn't really matter about how many monsters there are or not. However, for your shielding, um, in order for the shield to advance, there are some slight conditions that need to be filled. First, uh, you're only two of the monsters that are attacking you will apply uh, for damage being dealt, and sorry, I'm trying to multitask here and not doing too well. Um, the way the game's set up is only two monsters kind of count towards your leveling up and your skill level. It's a way that the game kind of sets a cap to make sure that the shielding skill doesn't increase at an exponential rate. Because I mean, people can go out and just surround themselves by monsters and just sit there blocking all day. Um, and the other condition that's set into place to prevent that is you also have to uh, only the first 30 attacks against you kind of count towards your shielding ability. Um, so basically what that means is you have to also be attacking at the same time. Now for mages and druids this kind of gets a little complicated because we can't really use our rods because that deals damage a little bit too much. So what you'll have is you'll have a training weapon of some kind. Now normally you're going to choose the lowest level weapon, i.e. knife for sword, crowbar for club, and sickle for axe. Um, however, I forgot to bring my training knife, and so I just grabbed a rapier from one of the frost trolls that are on this island. Um, so basically, this is kind of how you set it up, like I said, and although although I've been going at it for a while, the problem is I think my defense is just a wee bit too high. I probably should have grabbed a wooden shield or something on my way up here. Um, but these proof of smokes, aren't going towards my shielding because those count as misses. Basically, they're not hitting me. But these yellow sparks, that's what you want to see. That's what increases your skill level. Another thing that you want to remember when you kill a creature, throw the corpse into the ocean because what that does is it, this is kind of an unproven statistic, but it's kind of like I guess you could call it Tibia rumor. But it's believed that if you throw the corpse into the river, the game no longer is calculating like a corpse degradation time and allows for faster respawns. Like I said, whether this is true or not is kind of unknown at this point in time, but um, I tend to believe it because from what I've seen just from uh, past experience is that there is some truth to it. Now, I like training. The island I am on right now is the island of Fulda. It's one of the ice islands. Over here is Fulda. And when you get down into the dungeons, there's a path you can take. You enter in from over here. There's a path you take over here, and you climb up this hole, and you come out on this little island that I'm on. And on this island, there are nothing but polar bears. And I like polar bears as training partners because one, when they die, they drop ham and meat, which is really nice because that means you don't have to drag along a bunch of meat with you on your way to the training facility. And this goes doubly for me because that means I can bring... Oh, hold on. This is the only bad thing about polar bears. They run when they're close to death. Um, what this means as a mage is that I can now bring more blank runes so that I can work on my rune production during my training. There we go. And so the more runes you have, the longer you can stay here, and the more training that you can get done. And let's see here. Weaker weapons, food, auto food basically from these guys. That's pretty much it. Knowing that's pretty much all you need to know to set up a training regiment. Um, you will a general rule of thumb that I follow is you want to keep your skills at least what your level is. If your skills go below your level, um, it probably means you're not training enough, and that your character is going to be less effective over the course of the game. Um, but it also depends on what your character is as well. Um, for knights, since they train in these skills so much faster, I tend to try and keep my skills double what my level is, rather than equal to my level. Paladins, they don't. They're kind of a mid ground in terms of the skill leveling, with the exception of distance. So I tend to try and get them like at least five to 10 above my level. And then for mages and druid, I tend to just try to keep at my level, if not a little more. Because I mean, for a skill like shielding, you kind of want as much shielding as you can get. Um, Usually how I operate with my sorcerers and my druids is when it gets to the point where not, I'll go out on a leveling mission, level up maybe like 2 to 3 levels, then using the money I got from all my kills, go and buy a bunch of blank runes and some mana potions, come out here and train, produce a bunch of runes, and when all those runes are produced, I'll either sell them or bring them with me and go hunt something that something a little bit higher than I did last time that'll produce more gold. And that's the kind of the cycle I do for my mage. I have something similar to my knight where I go out on hunts, I'll level up, and then come back and train. Um, the only skill that you really need to train, however, is shielding. As I said, your melee skills, your attack skills, are going to level up just by attacking. So on those hunting trips, you will actually be leveling up that skill, whether you like it or not. Um, So really, the only skill that needs attention is the shielding skill. And I don't know how long I've been at this. I'm gonna guesstimate. Alright, so I started right around here around 6:10. So I'm at 6:23. Okay, so in 13 minutes, my shielding has gone from 80% to 75% to go. So now this is a pretty low level shielding skill, so but that kind of gives you a general idea of what you're gonna be in for. This isn't gonna be like, just come out, kill a couple of things, sit here for maybe like 10-30 minutes. This is something that you'll actually be dedicated to for probably like for the day. Um, However, if you do that, the amount of skills you gain will be quite a lot, and you'll be able to progressively start hunting higher level or more difficult enemies, which will then increase your EXP intake and increase your leveling ability. Um, oh, there is one other thing. Fishing. Another thing people like to do when they're doing this little training regiment is to practice their fishing, which is actually another good thing because once again you're just standing still, and you can just sit here and just fish the whole time, especially if you get yourself next to a coast. Um, I'm a little biased to the new fishing system because the old fishing system was you just had a fishing rod and you could just fish with that, but now you're required to have worms. And while that's definitely more realistic, it makes fishing quite the it's more of a financial problem now. Oh, wait, no. I want those corpses. There we go. Don't tell me I can't move that object. Alright. But anyway, for those of you who aren't mages, I would also recommend that, at this time, would be a good... Oh, crap, I forgot to switch back to my sword. Uh, right now would be a good time to, practice your fishing skill. And there we go. Alright, and we're back into the groove of things. And just with that running around trying to get everything set up, I still managed to train myself up 1%. So, that is the general idea for training. I've hoped y'all have enjoyed the video. Will take my advice. After this, there you'll start to see more co-op videos from me and Spiral. We'll start knocking out some quests and whatnot. If I come up with any more pro tips, I'll make some videos of those. And I guess I'll see you until next time. Please like and subscribe my videos.